So early 1990s, before the UFC, people would come in all the time, martial artists of other disciplines, to test themselves against Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. And in this case, these Gracie challenge matches were fought not by Gracie family members, but by students and instructors at the original Gracie Academy. This was done to prove that it wasn't in the blood, right? It was in the technique. This is Lowell Anderson, beautiful guard pull variation of the guillotine there. Lesson number 23 in the Gracie Combatives program. The guy wants to fight again, so Lowell shoots into like a single leg, transitions into a double leg, lesson number 17. And takes him down right here. Controls the position, starts climbing up his hips. You see this guy trying to get back to his knees, back to his feet. He can't because Lowell has a nice tight bind on his legs. Steps over beautifully. And then from here, he just patiently traps his arm, knocks him down, and climbs right into the nice mount position right here. Positional control from the mount, lesson number 3. He rolls over, takes the back, lesson number 4. Immediate rear naked choke, lesson number 5. Keeping the distance right here, that's Fabio Santos. Throws a kick, clinches on the aggressive opponent, lesson number 7. Leg hook takedown right there, lesson number 6. Side mount control, takes his time right here. Positional control, lesson number 13. At this point, he's just kind of waiting it out, puts his knee on the belly. Here, the guy will kind of feel that knee buck, knock him over, and he ends up in the bottom of the guard. Head control, stage 1. Jumps kind of a triangle, punch block series there, stage 1, lesson number 8. Goes for a triangle, his arms are both in. Beautiful sweep attempt right there. Comes right back into the arm lock, belly down. Catches that from the guard, lesson number 19. Distance keeping. The guys always want redos, so he does a redo here with Fabio. He throws a knee to the body, clinch upper body here, keeping the distance. Kind of a little collision there, and they lock up, fall down, and close guard. Pulling guard technique right there, lesson number 21. He goes for the arm lock again from the guard. The guy kind of backs out of it because this is a redo. They literally get a second try at the same opponent, right? So they kind of know some of the tricks at this point. Fabio standing up, catches a standing Kimura. Look at this, how beautifully. Pulls guard with the Kimura from standing, lays down, and now is able to deploy lesson number 25, Kimura technique from the guard, and there's your tap. Then we get back here with Lowell, with this Taekwondo practitioner. And Lowell's managing the distance once again. Beautiful timing there. Backs up, shoots in, clinch, duck under to the rear control. Lesson number 29. Throws the hooks in. The guy stays kind of propped up on his knees right here. He grabs Lowell's feet, kind of pulls him, and is able to turn successfully into Lowell's guard. Stage 1, punch block series, jumps into a triangle. The guy backs out of it, starts moving away, keeping the distance. They are back to their feet. So he moves around, checking the distance a little bit here. See where they go. Distance, pacing, timing, little P-zone right there, managing the distance. Just kind of feeling him out. Immediate duck under there to a double leg. Takes him down. Double leg takedown, lesson 17. Open guard pass, lesson number 1 right there. Lands in beautiful side control position, lesson number 13. Just maintaining the control right here. The bottom guy kind of has him in a guillotine with his left arm there, wrapped around Lowell's neck. But because Lowell is on the properly positioned, based on the guillotine defense lesson, he's properly positioned on the opposite side. Lesson number 32, guillotine defense. He's properly positioned on the side opposite of the guillotine. He has nothing to worry about. So while the man underneath him has the guillotine and is probably using a lot of strength trying to activate it, Lowell is just controlling the head with his left arm, splitting the legs with his right arm, and then throwing occasional knees to the body to distract him and keep things moving here. So little by little, the guy loses control of the head. At this point, he is going to slowly start to creep over into a kind of a side mount position. At that point, you're going to see the, right here, lesson number 13, control. At this point, he goes into full mount, positional control, lesson number 3, throw one slap to the face. Watch the bottom man reach up and grab a headlock. This is where Lowell goes into lesson number 16. Gracie Combatives, lesson number 16, which is headlock counters from the mount. You'll see him immediately modify his mount, but the gentleman is so eager to roll to his knees that he gets up, abandons the headlock, transitioning to back mount, lesson number 4 for Lowell. That's back mount, hooks in, rear naked choke, lesson number 5. That one's over nice and quick. So here, keeping the distance, he wanted another redo, kind of a quick scramble early on. Lowell dives in, he sprawls pretty nicely. A couple of punches, he's holding onto his shirt, then Lowell snags this low single leg and is able to control the tricep there, driving the opponent down, landing in a nice chest-to-chest, lesson number 13, side mount position, steps over into a quick mount, positional control, lesson number 3, and then you see him going for his face a little bit. Lowell kind of moves his head to the side. Remember, this is not UFC, right? There's no judges, there's no points, there's no scorecards. People are going to do what they can desperately. So he's kind of eye-gouging, scratching. Lowell maintains control in a low position right here, and now immediately taking the back, lesson number 4, puts his hooks in, drives the hips, and Lowell's able to maintain those hooks nicely. Come up, get deep hooks, and you'll see him here flatten him out. And you can tell the opponent at this point knows what's coming, so he taps out before it gets any worse. Here we have Mauricio Zingano, rest in peace. keeping the distance beautifully. Pizon, hand up, just classic distance keeping through a little jab there. So his opponent is on the outside. This forces the opponent to overcommit, right? They can't stay in the striking range, so they stay outside. And when the opponent overcommits, that's when we are able to shoot in. At this point, clinch on the aggressive opponent, except the opponent catches a standing guillotine. So you'll see Mauricio transition into the standing guillotine defense. Lesson number 32, wrist control, and he's going to hug over the shoulder with his right arm. Stand by. He's holding the wrist with his left hand, and watch his right arm reach over the opponent's shoulder right there. That's done to alleviate the pressure of the guillotine, and using that outside trip, he's able to then slip his head out and get back to a postured position here, neutralizing the guillotine. They're going to kind of scramble a little bit, standing clinch right here. See where they end up. He shoots in for this cross single leg. Mauricio jumps over, puts the hook in, loses the back mount. The guy slips his head out the back, and then he just kind of goes for the arm lock right here. He has the arm. You'll see the guy's arm is kind of bent still, so Mauricio has to work to straighten it, but that's difficult to do on a belly down position, a little more advanced technique. But then they turn here. The angle is a little bit lost, transitions back to open guard, and then Mauricio beautifully recovers guard and goes into stage 1 control punch block series. Lesson number 8, Gracie Combatives. At this point is when you realize that people who don't know jiu-jitsu literally have no clue what to do when they are inside someone's guard. And what's worse is when they think they're winning, they're actually losing. Watch. Boom. He reaches for the face. His arm gets caught in a second. Straight arm lock from the guard. Lesson number 19, Gracie Combatives, low variation, belly down transition, verbal tap, and that's a wrap.
Yeah.
So there it is, 25 Gracie combative techniques in just 6 challenge matches. You guys, what does this tell you? If you're going to learn self-defense for a real fight against someone who doesn't know jiu-jitsu, you don't need 600 plus techniques. You only need 36, and that's exactly why we created the Gracie Combatives program. Initially, it was only taught to the US Army. You're not too old, you're not too young, you're not too fat, you're not too skinny. You're perfect for jiu-jitsu exactly how you are. If you've ever thought about learning self-defense, Gracie Combatives is the best beginner jiu-jitsu program on the planet.